Alright everybody, I'm Josh.
And I'm Owen.
And today we're going to talk to you about
the DNT Zulus 4K.
DNT Zulus 4K. So just to be clear at the beginning of this review, DNT sent us this scope to do a 30-day T&E on, and we've had it for 30 days and we've been testing it. Owen's tested it on a pellet gun. I've had it on this pellet gun here, and we got some things to talk about. So let's get into it. To start, we're going to talk about the things we like. I know he's sitting over here with some things he doesn't like, and he's just waiting for the minute he gets to talk about it. But what do you like about it first?
How easy it is to sight it in.
With the one-shot zero program that they have on it?
Yes.
So part of their zeroing, and I've loved it since we got the V2, is you can go in, take your shot, and you can freeze the frame. And I know other scope companies are starting to implement this that I've seen as well, but that is a very, very handy feature. Owen was using it on a Ruger 177 pellet gun. How many shots did it take you to get that thing sighted in?
Like 4.
Total. And usually with a glass scope, he was having a lot of problems keeping anything on target with that gun. And since we switched it to a DNT, he's now using the V2 on that 177 caliber, but he used the Zulus 4K on it as well. And the thing has never been as accurate as it was with a DNT on here. So the one-shot zero, the freeze frame in the zeroing program is a major, major plus. Well done on that one, DNT. So now let's talk about like the daytime clarity of this thing. Daytime clarity is absolutely incredible for a digital optic. And I know I said the same about the Zulus V2, but this one, the Zulus 4K, takes it just a whole nother notch above that. But for a sensor inside the Zulus 4K, it is using a Sony StarViz 2 sensor. And that is bringing incredible clarity even out to low light conditions, which I have tested out coyote hunting. Right before dark, right after dark, no IR is needed. Full moon, you've seen through it with a full moon, no IR. Do you need one?
No.
No, you can see a long ways with no IR during the full moon, and especially if there's snow on the ground. Speaking of IR illuminators, Owen, that's one thing he's been holding for. What do you got to say about IR illuminators?
It doesn't come with one.
It does not come with one. Now, my opinion on that is DNT kind of shooting themselves in the foot on sales. The reasoning behind it, as far as I was told, was because most people that are going to be buying this scope typically already have an IR that they like, which I do. I use a Night Snipe NS750 on this, and it works fantastic. The Zulus V2 had one built in, and that also made it very possible for Owen to use that on his pellet gun. The 4K on top of his pellet gun, he's got nowhere to mount an IR unless we do some fancy 3D printing and designing of 45 offset Picatinny rails and stuff like that. He had no way of mounting an IR on it, so there was no way for him to actually use it after dark. That's actually why it got put on the PCP 30 cal. So, my opinion on that, I think they should send one. I think every night vision company that is selling night vision scopes that require an infrared illuminator to operate them should include an infrared with them. There's a ton of aftermarket options. Again, I use the Night Snipe NS750, works fantastic. But for people that are just getting into coyote hunting, they might say, I really like the looks of that scope, but then they buy it and then they have to go spend money somewhere else or on a different product to get themselves an IR. It just seems like you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, not including at least something to go with the Zulus 4K. Do you agree?
Yes.
Battery life in the 4K. It is using the same as the Zulus V2, a 21700 flat top. Estimates around 6 hours of runtime. Now, I have not fully tested that. I've had the thing out hunting with it, and usually when I come back with it, I plug it right in and let it charge. I don't really ever let anything run dead, and I haven't done a full cycle test on this scope yet. I haven't done a full charge, turn it on, and just run it until it's dead. But battery life also changes depending on what functions you're using. If you're using video, it will kill the battery life faster. It's a one button press to turn this thing into sleep mode, so typically I've got it on sleep mode until I need to look through my scope. I don't go through batteries that quickly, but I also haven't been out to try to test this scope for an entire night in our Michigan cold temperatures yet. I'm hoping to. A lot of other stuff going on, but for the 30-day test right now, I can say that I've gone squirrel hunting with it. You've gone out, done some target shooting with it, taken a couple rats with it, and we haven't killed a battery. But again, we're not like non-stop using the scope right now. The Zulus 4K is IP67 waterproof rated. The 4K is rated for recoil up to a 50 BMG. That's a serious recoil.
It has built-in 64 gigabytes of storage for your videos and photos.
64 gigabytes internal memory, no SD cards. And with the 64 gigabytes of internal data, it does have a 4K recording in 30 frames per second or 1080p in 60 frames per second. So 4K recording in 30 frames a second is pretty wicked for some slow motion, especially with a bigger pellet gun. That pellet, you can see it in flight in slow motion, and that is nifty. So I really like that. Zulus 4K is a 3x base magnification all the way up to a 24x mag. Now for zoom, it's a turret mount on top. You just turn the turret left or right to zoom in or zoom out. Press button on the top as well. So the button layout on top, they've got it planned well. But I don't like the feel of the buttons. I don't like the feel of the buttons, especially when you're wearing gloves. You agree?
Yeah.
There's ridges in the top here, and they go around the buttons themselves. And you can feel those ridges well, but especially with gloves on, finding the exact one for me has been a little bit of a pain in the butt, just to click the right one at the right time or to feel the right one at the right time. It's not a huge deal because it's just getting used to another scope that we have to learn and figure out exactly where everything lays. And that kind of becomes a problem with changing scopes in and out all the time, but that's part of it. Learning different things. So the buttons themselves, I'm sure we'll get used to them. I personally wish that the buttons were raised a little higher than the ridges on the inside. I think they kind of did that a little backwards. I think I know why the ridges are there. I think it's so you can feel them and not have to look for them. But I'd almost rather the buttons themselves be bigger and more pronounced than even having those ridges on top of the scope between the buttons. Built-in laser rangefinder is good for between 5 and 1,300 yards. I haven't tested out the 1,300 yards. I don't even know where I would go to see 1,300 yards, to be honest. But I have tested it out to 600 yards, even with the ballistic calculator, and it still tries to compensate for this pellet drop. It won't do it at 600 yards. The cool thing about a built-in laser rangefinder on a night vision is as soon as you click it, you will see that beam flash, as I'll show in the coyote video. You'll see that beam flash so you know where it's hitting, and it'll return it almost instantly. And this one is very, very quick, very smooth. It works great. Now DNT also does have an app that you can connect directly to the scope. You can take all your videos off of there. You can view the live screen, which is fun for when you have kids especially. We used to a lot when they would be shooting the crossbows or the guns that had one of the digital optics on it. I could hook up and watch where they were aiming through my phone. The same can be said for the Zulus 4K. Hook it up to the app. You got kids shooting or just somebody learning or anything like that. You can watch through the app as to where those crosshairs are, and you can kind of guide, like, not the greatest shot to take right there, hold a little bit longer, stuff like that. I find that to be handy in situations where it is not you behind the gun and you really want to verify that everything is about to go as well as it can go when a trigger is pulled. Also on the side of the 4K here, if you do want to hook it to a computer to pull your videos or anything, or you can hook up a charging box, a battery box to this to keep it charged in case you are running low on battery. Right in the side, it's handy. I haven't used it yet. The only thing I have used it for is to transfer some video from the scope to the computer, but I haven't used it as a charging port, again, because I haven't needed to yet.
It has a 50mm front lens.
50mm front lens. That's what we always chose when it was time to go nighttime coyote hunting with like a red light, because 50mm takes in all that light. The smaller you go, the less light it will intake into that scope. The bigger you go, the more it'll take in, and the better it'll do in those low light conditions. 50 millimeter is great. Ballistic calculator. I personally took all the data from the Zulus V2 and I input it directly into the Zulus 4K when I put it on this gun. Everything seemed to match pretty darn spectacularly. I'm shooting out to 100 yards with this 30 cal. No problems right now. It took me a little bit to get it dialed in with the wind that we have. But the ballistic calculator, again, is a fantastic option if you've never had a scope with one. It is a, I don't like to say it, but a game changer. For me, I don't like estimating holdovers and all that stuff. So having a scope that uses a ballistic calculator, as long as you chrono your weapon, you know your speeds, you know all that bullet data, and you input it properly into this, and then you kind of tweak your zero from there, you should be able to dial it in pretty quickly. I love that function, and on a pellet rifle like this one, a 30 cal, we're talking like 13 inches of drop from 50 to 100 yards, if I'm not mistaken, remembering just what the scope says in there when I've watched it. That's not something I can accurately gauge. So having a scope that does it for you is, like I said, I don't like to say it, but in my opinion, a game changer. Alright, and one final thing that I have to get off my chest. The 4K, the Zulus V2. I don't know why all the companies now are starting to go backwards in the size department. We started with giant scopes, then we started going down to small compact scopes. These personally are my favorite, the smaller, more compact sizes. They fit better in cases, they stack better in gun cabinets. I just don't get why we're going backwards all of a sudden, and it's happening across the board, it seems like. Some people are bringing out smaller compact versions, some people are bringing new versions that are back to being ginormous. Does it bother me? Only to the point of I really like compact scopes like this one. Does the size really matter to me? Not really. Once it's on the gun, I think it actually looks kind of beautiful. It looks like it belongs right there. But I wouldn't mind a more compact version like the V2. We started here, we came here, now we're going back to this. It seems like across the board on a lot of different scope companies. So not sure why, just a little petty thing that I don't like. I would rather stay with the small compact versions, but it is what it is. Final thoughts, Owen.
I like it. I really like the zoom, or how easy it is to sight it in.
Favorite part about it is the sight-in process. Myself, favorite part about it, I really like the turret zoom. You don't even have to think about it. The size, I'm not that big of a fan of. Battery life so far hasn't done me any wrong. Thing is clear. The thing when you zero it in is accurate. Ballistic calculator is accurate. Laser rangefinder is accurate and fast. Nothing really to complain about that would be a major turnoff for this scope. So the DNT Zulus 4K is in stock right now at Predator Hunter Outdoors for $849, and you're getting 2 batteries, a charger, the scope. You can also jump on DNT's website and order direct if you want to. I choose Predator Hunter Outdoors right here in Michigan. Always fast shipping, always great customer service, great guy to deal with. DNT, thank you so much for the opportunity to test the 4K. We're hoping we get to keep on using it for a little bit longer, do some squirrel hunting, do some more coyote hunting. Woodchucks are right around the corner. He's got pigeon removal to do for a couple people, so we got things to do. But man, we're waiting on this weather in Michigan to make up its mind if it's going to stay frozen or if it's going to finally warm up, and then we'll be able to get out there some more. So thank you again, DNT, for letting us use this. We'll talk to you all later, and thank you for watching.